Hello there! Here's Bruno again, you are watching Ink and Words. Welcome back! Today we are here to talk about the book Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers is a fiction novel by the American writer Robert A. Heinlein. The story was first published as a two-part serial in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction as a Starship Soldier, and then published as a book by G.P. Putnam's Son in 1959. It won the Hugo Award for the Best Novel in 1960. This story is a great example of military science fiction, a subgenre of science fiction and military fiction that illustrate the use of science fiction and technology for military purposes. In this style of story, usually during a war with detailed description of the conflict, belligerents which may involve extraterrestrials, tactics and the many weapons used for it. Traditional military values such as courage under fire, sense of duty, honor, sacrifice, loyalty, and camaraderie are often emphasized. Well, now about the book. Starship Troopers is set in a future society ruled by a human interstellar government called the Terran Federation. This society is dominated by a military elite. In this democracy, only veterans of federal service, not just limited by military service, enjoy full citizenship. It means that only that caste can vote. Here we are following Juan Johnny Rico, a young man of Philippine descent. And here we are going to accompany his military service in the mobile infantry, from Rico's progress from recruit to the officer against an alien species known as arachnids or bugs. The author begins the book when Rico is about to start a mission. In an inner monologue, we already can see how this army prepared the soldiers for combat. Rico tells us about his feelings before being dropped next to enemy lines. He's aboard the corvette transport Roger Young. Rico is a roughneck, some kind of space mariner super badass. Interesting here is that the army used hypnosis to train and to investigate the minds of soldiers to know the physical conditions of each one before missions. After this mission, Rico tells us how he became a soldier. Someday at school, he was having a class, and the themes were about aspects of suffrage, civic virtue, juvenile delinquency, and war. And all those issues start to cook inside Rico's mind. Rico and his best friend Carl are considering joining the federal service after graduation, something that is not well seen by Rico's parents. After all, the boy is from a wealthier family and has a great future working with his father. That makes Rico hesitant. But as soon as he discovered that his classmate Carmen Ibanez also intended to enlist, the boy rushed to the federal building to enlist himself. The boy goes to camp for training, and after a few problems with him and others recruits, he thinks about resigning. At this moment, Rico receives a letter from his teacher, the same guy who taught him history and moral philosophy. The teacher reveals that he was once a lieutenant colonel in the mobile infantry. That letter gives the boy the motivation to keep his training. After a lot of work and suffering, he graduates. Now back to the war. From a minor incident, the bug war escalated to a full-scale war. The arachnid attacked and annihilated the city of Buenos Aires. Rico's mother is killed in that attack. Okay guys, I don't want to give you more spoilers, but the story is going to become a journey through life and how a person evolves towards personal growth and how we became adults. Here we have lots of interpretations for the meaning of the novel. We can say that violent conflicts and the militarization of society are inevitable and necessary. Or the transformation of a person from a boy into a soldier while exploring issues of identity and motivation. Even some kind of irony in how that world evolves around corporal punishment and war. Something that the movie by Paul Verhoeven makes more visible, even when sometimes it sounds corny, too much like a comedy or even mockery of the US military complex. We also can arguing that one of the themes of the book is that there's a lack of discipline in the society, a lack that will lead to a moral decline of the same society. And here I would like to say that that perspective, at least for me, sounds interesting. The idea that tough times create strong men create easy times, and easy times create weak men creates tough times. Well, we can argue the meaning of Starship Troopers for days and days. In the end, to be really honest, the book is open for interpretations. It's a very interesting book with a compelling story. Well written, excellent characters, a good depict of military training, hierarchy, and warfare. Pretty good and easy to read. So for Starship Troopers, I give 4 ink cartridges. But please, don't take my words for granted. Go read!